What can you expect this week's energy to be like? Today, you're going to find out. Stick around. It's time for the weekly wisdom. Hello, 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 and welcome. Thank you so much for listening to or watching the Manifest on Purpose show. If you're new, welcome to the channel. If you're not, welcome back. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Thank you for all of those that you've already been sharing this with. Thank you for subscribing here and on the website at Kimbaley, KIMBALEY.com. And you know how I feel about you. The God in me loves the God in you. And that's why I do everything that I do. We're going to get to this week's weekly wisdom. I'm excited. I'm ready for it to go down. But before we get there, let's hear our Astro-Numerology forecast for today, brought to you by Astro-Numerologist LLoyd Strayhorn and the Star 8 mobile numerology app. It is Sunday, October the 20th. The sun is in Libra. The moon is in Gemini. It's a 9 universal month, a 3 universal week, and 11 universal day. It's important that whatever you do today, you must be awake and aware. Now, what does that mean? Awake means this is a day to not sleep on anyone or anything, underestimating or simply taking them for granted. Aware, just what it says, meaning it's about situational awareness, to know what's going on around you at all times for your peace of mind and personal safety. And if you can't at least do these things, then perhaps it's best for you to get out of the way for those that want to. Leo, Aquarius, Cancer, and those born on the 2nd, 7th, 11th, 16th, 20th, 25th, and 29th of the month seems to be very much in tune with this way of thinking, this 24-hour cycle. These astronumerology forecasts are awesome. So make sure that you pay attention to that for your daily cycle. And I know I only do them on Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. But if you want your forecast for every day, you should download your version of the Star 8 app. You can go to a star 8 ASTAR the number 8.com. You can also download it on Google Play or the App Store, and you can go to Linktree/numbers and you. And while you're there, you will gain access to his other exclusive services and products, including the monthly newsletter. Please make sure that you check that site out to make sure that your daily cycles are intact. 2025 is a 9 universal cycle. This cycle is going to be full of transformation. Are you prepared for the 9 universal cycle? If the answer is no, there's something that may help you. Having your astronumerology forecast for the year will guide you and help you plan and strategize for the year of the 9. And for a limited time only, you'll be able to get October, the rest of October. October is almost over with now. You'll get November and you'll get December along with all of 2025. This is a tool that you don't want to miss up on. You can get that at Kimbaley.com. You can also get your Astro-Numerology report, or you can get your compatibility report. And if you want to get deep down into the weeds of who you really are, you can get an Astro-Numerology consultation done by myself. Kimbaley at KIMBALEY.com. Of course, I'm excited to extend this invitation with you. You are invited on Wednesday, the 1st of January, 2025, to join me at the Vision Board Mastery. This will be an event that you won't forget. In this event, you will manifest 2025 on purpose. During this workshop, you will learn the power of the vision board. You will learn visualization tips and techniques. You will also learn how to create your own vision board. And guess what? You will be completing your own vision board. And you will have the opportunity to share with others as you speak your 2025 into existence. And at the end, we will conclude with the guided visualization to help you plant the seeds of 2025. So please join me for this event. Just check out the QR code in the bottom of the flyer, or you can also go to Kimbaley.com. Now, you know what time it is. It's time for us to jump into this weekly wisdom. Guess what? Last week, I had a lot of fun. I used 4 cards last week. This week, I think I'm going to try the same thing because it was very interesting for me. First, I want to let everybody know who is showing up for the first time what the weekly wisdom is. During the weekly wisdom, the focus is on the energy for the week. What should we be focused on for the upcoming week? And the way that I do that is by using my intuition. I also use the oracle cards. I read the definition of each card that comes up in the book. And I also give my own interpretation of the card. And I use the numbers to read the numerical frequency to add a little more to the reading. So I'm going to tell you this. We're going to jump into it, but I want to say that I hope we do not get the same message we've been getting for the last 2 weeks, because for the last 2 weeks, the message has been about letting go. If you hear something more than one time, then that means it's confirmation. So, what is that message trying to tell you? And because I heard it 2 times, it made me think that someone was still holding on to something that they really needed to let go of. So, what we're going to do is we're going to hope that this same message doesn't come up. We're going to hope that whoever was having that issue has found a way to clear that up and things are better so that we can get a fresh reading this week. It could actually be talking about more than just the week. It could be letting us know that this is going to be the basis for the energy of the year that we are going into as well. So I have my cards here. I just so happen to have my favorite cards. These are the Trust Your Vibes Oracle cards by, and I always say her name wrong. Nobody ever told me that I say her name wrong. However, I'm just going to do my best with it. I just feel that I'm not saying it right. So, Sonia Chaquette. I'm just going to give these cards a good shuffle. And I also want to let you know, just for the fun of it, if you hear something in one of these readings and you want to go deeper into it, you can go to Kimbaley.com and we can definitely get deeper into that card for you. I want to be surprised today. So the cards that come up, I'm only going to flip them upright one at a time. Now I want to peep at it. Now I want to peek at it. Oh, here's another one. That one already up, and there's my fourth one. I just kind of let the energy do what it do. Now, Here's the first card. Please don't let this be a number 9 card. Letting go. Let's see what it is. Number 12, it says sound check. Okay, so I'm going to read this one in the book. The more you pay attention to the energy around you, the quicker you activate your clairaudience, the ability to tune into your higher self, angels, and guides. With this awakening, however, comes more responsibility as a newly developing sixth sensory being. Just as your sensitivity levels are rising to interpret higher soul supporting frequencies, so too is your sensitivity to negative soul debilitating vibrations. Consequently, excessive exposure to dissonant and noisy vibrations will leave you feeling drained and irritable. Your angels and helper guides are advising you to surround yourself with the most harmonious sounds and vibration possible, those that communicate love, gentle acceptance, and harmony to keep your energy in balance. Be especially mindful of what you listen to day to day. Step away from innervating noise the minute you hear it. This means that you need to turn off violent TV programs, avoid negative talk radio, shun gossip, and refrain from criticism. Be sensitive to your spirit's need for sweet vibration. Your spirit is dedicated. Your spirit is delicate and vulnerable, but not weak, and it thrives best in vibrations of harmony and tranquility. Listen to this message and it sounds and it's good sounds. Wow, this is so interesting that this is the number 12 card. And the number 12 warns us not to be used as the victim or sacrifice for other people. But not only that, when you think about the number 12, yes, we know number 12 is creative. And you may say that the number 12 has a rather creative ear. You know, they can hear things creatively as well. But when you're that in tune with the creator, you must be careful. Now, the number 12 also talks about gossip and scandal to the negative. And we know that the number 3 is ruled by the planet of Jupiter, which represents expansion. So, if you decide that you're going to sit there and gossip with someone, then it's not just a little bit of gossip, because Jupiter is going to expand that and make the situation a whole lot worse than what it really is. What this card is telling you to do is to protect your intake. That's one of the things that I talk about here on the Manifest on Purpose show. What are the things that go in? What are the things that you're hearing? What are the things you're seeing? What are the frequencies or the energy that you are allowing to come into your life? Let me give you one good example, one that many people don't understand. People have stood me down that television has no effect on you. I have seen times when I have fallen asleep, and this is not in my recent days because I know better than this now. I have fallen asleep with the television and I dreamed about whatever was going on that television throughout that night, not because I was awake and aware of it. It was because of the fact that while I was asleep, while I thought everything was still shut down, I failed to realize that the mind was not shut down. So you are still consuming these things creatively, especially if you're born on a birthday that's the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month, Or if perhaps you're a Sagittarius or a Pisces, one of the techniques that you can use is for you to record affirmations for yourself. And the moments right before you go to bed, put those affirmations on and listen to them throughout the night. These are good techniques to use, and also people that are born on the 7th or born on a 2. These are good techniques that you can use to help you, and it's creatively finding ways to align with the things that you manifest. So, what this is really saying is you need to cut back on your media. Some things in the media may not seem as bad as we think they are because we're already used to it. It's like we're already numb to it. And so, it just plays a role in our subconscious mind until we create it in reality. So it's important. Even the music that we listen to, pay attention to the lyrics, because some of these lyrics are things that we do not need to be listening to. We do not need to be saying. I was there was a situation when a person wanted to get another person a birthday gift, and the idea was a t-shirt. It was a Biggie t-shirt. It was the Ready to Die t-shirt. And I was like, no, you don't give anything to someone like that. So even you have to be careful with what you're wearing. For me, I think about situations like when I found out about Kate Spade, what happened to her. I always told people that purchase, because I've never been a fan of her things, but I would talk to people who did. And I was thinking about, do you know the energy that is still going forward in her design, in her line? So when you're wearing that, then you're wearing or carrying that energy. So you have to be careful of the people that you talk to. You have to be careful of the people that you listen to. These people that you allow to enter your life that are supposed to be role models or are supposed to be experts in the matter, and they come in and they say things to you. But when you take these things in, you have to take under consideration that these are suggestions. That's all they are, suggestions. Your commercials, suggestions that are offered to your subconscious mind. And once your subconscious accepts, it becomes your reality. So, wow, that was a good one. Be careful of what you're listening to. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is the number 23 card. What do you love? Let me read this first. One of the one of the most powerful tools for raising your vibration and attracting divine support is to openly acknowledge out loud what you love on a regular basis. For example, rather than spending your lunch break talking about the boss you hate, the postal clerk who gets on your nerves, or the bad drivers on the road, focus instead on the wonderful friend from college who will be visiting, or the corner coffee shop that makes the best latte you've ever had. In other words, affirm the good things in your life when you speak. Do the same when you chat with your friends on the phone or email them. You don't have to be in the presence of others. Everything you say, whether heard or not, holds an enormous magnetic vibration. So, speaking of what you love, not only heals your heart, it actually attracts what you love. The same goes for what you hate, which is what most five sensory fear based people talk about the most. Simply announcing to yourself and others who and what you love balances your vibration and draws people to you. It also opens your heart and realigns you with your true path and purpose. Do this for a few minutes every day, and it will correct your course, fill your aura with sweetness, and heal your life. Wow, these two cards go hand in hand. Now, when we think about the number 23 card, we think about the number five. And the number five is Mercury. And so we know that Mercury is the communication planet. We already talked about this in the beginning because the first was sound check, right? Now it's saying be careful what you speak. And that really goes back to what I've been saying all along. You know, the cards are telling them for me, okay? What I've been saying all along is the fact that you have to watch your intake, sound check, and you have to watch your output. What do you love? You know, people get confused these days because a lot of people don't want to talk about what they love. A lot of people want to talk about what's going wrong, what they have been through, instead of talking about the things that they love. That is not how to do it. Because the more you continue to talk about what the problem is, you will find no solution. You just double down on the problem. So it's best for you to make sure that you say those things that are the things that you want to attract in your life. Because the way the subconscious mind is probably figuring it, if you're always talking about something negativity, you must love that stuff. And when I think about, I'm hearing news now because we're talking about that five and we're talking about getting information out there. You know, so when we think about that news, we think about what we say as news because it's very much news to anybody else. One problem that people have issues with when it comes to this is somebody may be like, how you feeling? Oh, this is so bad. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So now you're promoting because the number five is also a number of promotion. We know that whenever two or more come together and agree, then it has a more profound impact on what you manifest. So when you, number one, profess or confess that negative energy to someone else, and they believe you, because why wouldn't they want to believe you? So that's two people believing in the same thing. And most of the time, that person is going to tell Sally, hey, you know what such and such told me the other day about them. And so they're doing that gossiping and it's getting around to everybody. And now people are speaking on it. So it means that whenever you are speaking, you have to speak positive about yourself, about the environment, about the situation, and you have to inspire others to grow, encourage others to speak positivity. Because sometimes someone may come to you, like we talked about in this sound check, with some negative information. You have to know how to counteract that. And you can say to that person, well, at least this didn't happen, or it's a good thing that this happened, and this can perhaps change their life, and it keeps you from having to carry that negative information and that negative energy around with you. So the question is again, what do you love? Whatever it is you love, you need to express this. And there's a good technique that can go along with this, especially for those that are born on the 5th, the 14th, the 23rd of the month. You can actually write notes to yourself, write letters to yourself. Put it in any form of communication that you can. This will also be a time that you can record your affirmations and repeat those to yourself, or play those to yourself repetitively. This is a time for you to be able to practice on how you communicate, whether it's through email, especially when dealing with others. So we're going to move on to the next one. Oh, the number 10, remembering to breathe. Wow. And let me read the card first, because sometimes I be ready to jump into it. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but sometimes I'm ready to jump into the card, but then I have to think about it, because once I jump into it and then read the card later, I'm like, wow, I forgot to read the card first. But anyway, let me read the card first. It's remember to breathe. This is the number 10 card. And we know number 10 is the wheel of fortune. Well, if you don't know, now I'm letting you know the number 10 is the wheel of fortune. That is also a number 1 card. It says, my spiritual teacher once said, there are no real emergencies, only opportunities and invitations to grow your soul. Some situations feel more intense and urgent than others, but will be more manageable if you remember to breathe properly. Breathing is the gateway into the sixth sense and receiving higher vibrations. When you hold your breath, you deprive yourself of spirit and enter into a debilitating fear-based state of mind, fight or flight, losing all access to higher awareness. By remembering to breathe slowly and deeply, in through the nose and out through the mouth, you remain connected to divine guidance and higher protection. When you feel in danger or threatened, you have been asking to grow on a soul level. And for this reason in life, life may feel more challenging than usual. Take it as a sign of your soul's growth and stay cool, calm, and connected to your higher power through your breath. You don't have to know what you're doing right now or even have a plan of action. Just continue breathing and remain open in your heart and mind to higher guidance. Take a deep breath right now. Inhale and exhale. See what I mean? One thing that I can say about leaders is leaders takes on the responsibility of everything that their subordinates are supposed to handle, meaning that they don't have to do all of these things, but the weight of these things falls on the shoulders of the leader if these things are not completed like they're supposed to. A lot of leaders tend to go above and beyond. That's what makes them leaders. But the energy that I'm feeling for this card is saying that you need to remember to take time for that mental rest, and you need to remember to take time for that physical rest. We're not like the Energizer Bunny. We don't keep going, and keep going. We have to take time out to breathe. We have to take time out to see if we're still in alignment with those intentions we set, if we're still in alignment with our goals, if we're still in alignment with our purpose. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to take some time to breathe, whether it be in meditation, whether it's just alone time. Sometimes you can plan things to do simply for yourself, just to let it all hang out, because I'm feeling and I'm hearing that the responsibility is heavy right now. But you have to understand that the responsibility is not heavier than what you can get through. You have the tools to get past these things. You just have to be patient and you have to take that time within yourself. Because one thing that I tell people that they don't understand, when we're overworked mentally or physically, we're not thinking clearly. So, in order for you to make your best decisions, you're going to have to make it a regular routine to breathe. Just like when we talk about breathing on a regular basis, our body, it goes back to this card because that's what this card was telling us about. But it's a part of our body that's very well necessary. The fact that breathing is subconscious is because we don't even have to think about the fact that we're breathing for it to even happen. We're still here, even though we may not be even thinking about it's time to breathe. But what this card is also telling us is not only should we take that time to breathe, we have to be aware when we are breathing. You have to be able to be aware that your body is in a resting state. So let's flip to this next card. This is going to be the last card, and I'm feeling that this is the overall energy of the card. Vibe check number 30. Let's read the card first. As a sixth sensory person, it's important that you pay keen attention to the tone and level of vibrations around you and seek to remain in good vibes. Start to rate your vibes by how they affect you in all situations. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being positive vibes that lead you feeling energetic, lighthearted, relaxed, and one being negative vibes that lead you feeling drained, uneasy, insecure, and not yourself. Scan all situations with the vibe check. From the restaurant you enter to the new car you consider buying to the hotel room you pay for. If the vibes feel good, carry on. If not, move to higher ground. You don't have to explain your vibes to trust them. A good vibe is good, and a bad vibe is bad. Feeling it is reason enough to trust it. Aim to keep your experience at 7 or above on the good vibe scale. And if you're in a less than 7 situation and cannot move to higher ground, use other tools in this deck to protect and strengthen your aura until you can. And this is another number 3 card. And to me, this entire message goes back to our Astro-Numerology forecast for today. If you didn't hear me talk about that Astro-Numerology forecast, make sure that you go back or you download the app to get that forecast for yourself. But when I'm thinking about what this card is, the vibes that this card is giving off is awareness. That's what our forecast talked about for today. That's what our focus is for the week. It's time to be aware. What is it time to be aware of? It's time to be aware of our intake, the things that we're taking in. It's time to be aware of the things that we are putting out, our output. It is time to be aware of what this card right here is talking about. This card is basically talking about, and I would like to call this situational awareness also. Being aware of the vibes of the environment that you're in, the people that you're around, what's going on or what's happening at the time. Because a lot of times your body will signal you when something's not right. Let me give you an example. Deepak Chopra once said that you can tell what's good for you. And we're talking about food. What's good for your body by how you feel when you're about to ingest it. There are certain foods that I already know how it makes my body feel. And if I'm about to eat those foods, I start getting that feeling. So it's just like, I know what's going on. This is the sixth sensory information that these cards have been telling us about. The way that we feel. And as I talked about before in the first card, some people have become so numb to the fact that you can pick up the energy from the environment you're in. And I thought this was strange coming up because I used to think it was me being an empath or me having social anxiety. But I just know that if I go into a group with a lot of people, especially, my energy feels different. Sometimes it's kind of like a little anxiety because I'm picking up the energy of that environment and I'm picking up the energy of this people that are in that space. I'm not saying that this always happened to you, but what I'm saying is your body has its very own special way of telling you when something is not right for you versus when something is right for you. But so many people have become numb to this ability. And I wouldn't even call it an ability because it's something that is natural to us. That's been shut down through programming and so many other things. And a lot of times people look at it like, oh, that's crazy. And they kind of shut that part down from themselves, especially when they don't understand it. So, what this final card is telling you is that you have to pick up the energy around you. You have to do a vibe check. There are times when you may feel something and you have to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Does this mean this is something that I need to step away from? Or is this something that I need to move forward with? And it all depends on you and your purpose in life. So it's important to pay attention to everything. It's so funny that this card came up today because just earlier I was thinking about one of my granddaughters, and she actually has the same birthday number as I do. And I was thinking about her and I was thinking about some of our similarities. And let me tell you, like, when she's trying to figure something out or when somebody's doing something different, she has this stare. Like she's staring them down, making sure that she's checking out everything that's going on. And I kind of laughed to myself and I was like, yep, just like your grandmother, because I'm always observing everything. That's the first thing I do. I pick up on things that most people wouldn't catch. And it seems to me the way she's looking now, even though she's so young, that she's the same way. But what I'm saying is, everybody should be observant. Everybody should know what's going on in their surroundings. When you know what's going on in your surroundings and when you know what you're taking in, then you know where your issues lie at. You know where your problems lie at. And you know, one relies on the other. Because if it's something that you're taking in, eventually it will begin to come out. With the number three, we're talking creativity. And in order to be creative, if you think about it, think about your artists. Whenever they have to be creative, they have to be in that mode of being observant. They have to be aware of the energy that's going on around them. One of the things I always say that you cannot create in stress mode. And this card very much talked about stress mode. When you create, you have to create from a space of peace. So I hope that this will help you get through the week. I want you to be focused on being aware. Be aware of those people that approach you. Be aware of those environments that you choose to spend your time. Are they helping you grow? Because if they're not helping you, you can consider that they're hurting you. Well, that's our weekly wisdom. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.